was the Searchers with Sweets for Me Sweets.
Great song.
Yeah, great song. Catchy tune as well.
It is, yeah. Well, it's Merseybeat, and we're staying with Merseybeat again now.
Yeah.
But this has got a Manchester connection with it. The lead singer of this band, I think his name was Howard William Ashton, but obviously he couldn't use that name in pop music, so he changed his name to Billy Kramer. And John Lennon says, why don't you put a letter in the middle? It makes you sound harder.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
So he changed it to Billy J. Kramer. Now, he didn't have a backing band.
Yeah.
So a Manchester group called the Dakotas were roped in to help Billy out. Now, Billy also had the help of a decent pair of songwriters. Again from Liverpool. One of them was called John Lennon. The other one was called Paul McCartney. And in 1963, the Beatles were just demolishing everything in sight. They were just dominating the charts. But they were also writing for other people as well. And this song, John wrote specifically for Billy J. Kramer. And it got to number one in, I think it was October, November of 1963. And Billy J. Kramer that went on top of quite a few hits of using Lennon-McCartney material. The following year, he had another number one with an American song, though, called Little Children.
Yeah.
But now this is a pretty good tune. I don't think the Beatles ever did a version of this. I'm not aware of it anyway. But it's a Lennon and McCartney one. Great track. I'd like to dedicate this one to Steve Clare, because I think when Steve was born in 64, Billy J. Kramer was number one. Yeah. So Steve, it's for you, mate. Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas, Bad to Me.
I'll be sad and blue. Don't you ever leave me. I'm so in love with you. The birds in the sky would be sad and lonely if they knew that I lost my one and only. They'd be sad if you're bad to me. The leaves on the trees would be softly sighing if they heard from the breeze that you left me crying. They'd be sad. Don't be bad to me. But I know you won't leave me, 'cause you told me so. And I've no intention of letting you go, just as long as you let me know you won't be bad to me. So the birds in the sky won't be sad and lonely, 'cause they know that I've got my one and only. They'll be glad you're not bad to me. You won't leave me, 'cause you told me so. And I've no intention of letting you go, just as long as you let me know you won't be bad to me. So the birds in the sky won't be sad and lonely, 'cause they know that I've got my one and only. They'll be glad you're not bad to me. They'll be glad you're not bad to me. To me. To
me. That's Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas. That's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it, mate?
It is, Si, yeah.
Going out there to him.
Steve Clare, that was, yeah.
Yeah, it's some Bad to Me, wasn't it, mate?
It was, yeah. It's a pretty good song.
Great song.
Yeah.
It. Love songs like that, mate. I like this sort of era, though, to be honest. You know what I mean?
Well, the next track...
We've got a belter coming up, haven't we?
We have. Well, if I was to tell you this is the biggest selling song of the 60s...
I can believe you.
It was.
I can believe you, mate.
It sold more. Classic. It sold more than any other song in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Now, I've already mentioned him on the previous song. Lennon and McCartney were, in 1963, I think they spent 30 weeks at number one in the album charts, and they were just, the British charts were just theirs for the taking.
Yeah.
And this track got to number one. I think it was number one for 4 weeks. Then it got knocked off number one. Then it went back to number one again for a further 2 weeks. this was the middle of what was called Beatlemania.
Yeah.
And this is around the time when they appeared at the London Palladium. And at the Palladium, John Lennon became legendary when he says, people in the cheap seats, clap your hands, the rest of you just rattle your jewellery.
He met the Queen, didn't he?
Yeah, they met. It was Princess Margaret they met.
Oh,
and,
no, I thought he meant the Queen when he said that.
No, it's the aristocrats. Sorry, I thought he said met the Queen.
No.
Yeah, it's Princess Margaret and Lord Snowdon.
Is that who was there that night?
They were the dignitaries there, yeah.
Well, he's probably right what he was saying, wasn't he?
Oh, of course he was, yeah. He was renowned for his wit.
Yeah.
So
he refused the gong, didn't he?
No, they got the MBEs in 1965, but John sent his back in 1969.
Yeah.
The excuse he used was it was something to do with the Biafran war in Nigeria, and Cold Turkey was going down in the charts. Cold Turkey was a song he wrote. It's a pretty good track, actually. It's about coming off heroin. That was John's excuse.
Classic.
If he'd have lived, he probably would have refused a knighthood.
Yeah, he definitely.
He wouldn't have. It just wasn't his thing.
No, he wasn't into all that, was he?
So, great track. This one's going out to John Titley. John, this is the Beatles and She Loves You.
1, 2. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, 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 yeah. You think you've lost your love? Well, I saw her yesterday, yeah. It's you she's thinking of, and she told me what to say, yeah. She said she loves you, and you know that can't be bad. Yes, she loves you, and you know you should be glad. She said you hurt her so, she almost lost her mind. Now she says she knows you're not the hurting kind. She said she loves you, and you know that can't be bad. Yes, she loves you, and you know you should be glad. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. No, it's up to you. I think it's only fair. Pride can hurt you too. Apologize to her because she loves you, and you know that can't be bad. Yes, she loves you, and you know you should be glad. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. With a love like that, you know you should be glad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And that was the Beatles, the original boy band, which loves you, going out there to John Titley.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call them a boy band.
They was at the time, not weren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, boy bands today are just
No, they're
sterile.
shit. I know,
They're just
I know.
sterile
Yeah,
things
it's a
manufactured
wrong-
by the music industry.
You're right there, Noddy. It's a wrong description, that,
Yeah.
innit? They're not a boy band.
The
They was
Beatles-
class act, weren't they, mate?
Of course they were. Well, they were
And they
voted-
still are, aren't they?
Of course they were voted the greatest musical act of the 20th century. That says it all for me.
And can I just say this? If you've got any Beatles records or Beatles LPs, check them out on eBay, because they will probably be worth a fortune. You'll be surprised how much they're worth, because Beatles records, singles and LPs, all the money, mate.
Well, again, talking about the Beatles. When you talk about the Beatles, who would you reckon was their biggest rivals in the 60s?
Well, straight away you'd think of the Bee Gees, wouldn't you? Then you'd think of groups like The Searchers.
Searchers, Dave Clark 5,
Dave Clark
Ehrman's
5.
Hermits.
Yeah, Ehrman's Hermits. And they're Manchester bands, aren't they?
Yeah,
Ehrman's
but
Hermits.
there was another band that was starting around this time.
Stones.
Well, that's what we're talking about, isn't it?
Hey, we got there, didn't we, mate? I got there eventually.
Well, the Rolling Stones, had formed in 1962, and it was based around... The band was formed by Brian Jones, who was a guy from Cheltenham. And Brian was one of those people who could play any instrument. He really was. He could play anything. Brilliant keyboards player. He was the original lead guitarist in the Stones. He had a bit of an ego problem, and like I said, apparently wasn't such a nice chap. But for me, musically, he was very, very good. But the rest of the Stones comprised of two friends from Dartford in Kent, Mick Jagger and Keith Richard, who met at a train station, and they started up a conversation over records. I think that Mick was carrying. I think it was a Muddy Waters record, and they both had a shared interest in American Delta blues music, and that basically they worked together. Then from then on, they recruited Bill Wyman and Charlie Watts, and they got a gig at a club in Richmond called the Crawdaddy, and I think they were playing there in 1963. And it was while there they were spotted by a man called Andrew Luke Holden, who became their manager. So obviously he got them a recording contract with Decca Records, and they needed a song. So who was the best songwriters around at the moment? Lennon and McCartney.
Yeah.
So on the Beatles' second album with the Beatles, they recorded a song called I'm Your Man. I Want to Be Your Man, sorry.
Yeah.
And it was sung by Ringo. So Andrew Logue Oldham thought, this is ideal for my band.
Yeah.
And this became their very first hit in the English charts. Later on in 64, they did a couple of, I think they brought out Little Red Rooster, and they also brought out It's All Over Now. That's a Bobby Womack song. And in 65, they started writing their own material, which they did from then on. That was Jagger and Richards. And they just became one of the biggest bands in the world, moving away from blues into more mainstream rock and roll. And I think the last album they brought out, they've gone back to the blues roots. So, great track. This is for Bob Davis. Bob, this is the Rolling Stones, and I Want to Be Your Man. But before we go, next week we're going back to the 80s, Simon.
Oh, I like the 80s.
1983.
Great year.
It is a great year.
Great year for music.
So I think anybody wants anything, let us know, and I'll see if I can dig it out for you. So again, Bob, this is for you, mate. Rolling Stones, I Want to Be Your Man.
I wanna be your lover, baby. I wanna be your man. I wanna be your lover, baby. I wanna be your man. Tell me that you love me, baby. Tell me you understand. Tell me that you love me, baby. Tell me you understand. I wanna be your man.